Well, it's been a very long time coming, but we're finally going to get our first real look at Core 4 of the Thousand Year Blood War arc anime, titled The Calamity, the end of Bleach's final arc. It definitely feels like things have been very quiet for a while now, and I appreciate all of you for sticking around and continuing to support the channel in the interim. It really does mean a lot. But now, hopefully, our patience will be rewarded in some form at least. And I'll be honest, I don't really know what to expect. I don't know how much new content they're really going to show here, considering this is only being labelled a teaser trailer. That makes me think that this isn't going to be a fully fledged opening of the floodgates, so to speak. And normally we tend to get 2 trailers prior to the release of each core. 3 if you include the very conceptual, I guess, teaser that they show at the end of the previous core's airing. And there's also a part of me that thinks that Core 4 is still coming in the second half of the year, so ultimately we'll have to see. Anyway, without further ado, let's finally take a look at the teaser trailer for the final season of the Thousand Year Blood War arc anime. We're really here. This is actually happening. I kind of can't believe it. This journey we've been on together for so long, it's kind of winding down. The end is officially on the horizon, which is, yeah, a little bit sad, to be honest, a little bit emotional. But regardless, now is the time for excitement. And I can already see, looking at the thumbnail here on YouTube, that they are going to be showing the Horn of Salvation transformation in all of its glory, which is kind of funny because when you think about that original conceptual teaser trailer that I just mentioned, way back when Core 3 ended, they already revealed in there that Ichigo's true bankai is going to be broken in half, so it kind of feels like they're not really holding anything back, at least in regards to the Ichigo and Orihime versus Yhwach arc fight. Kind of everything, the biggest surprises are all being revealed. They're laying down their cards, so to speak, so that does make me wonder what else they've kind of got hiding, and I imagine it's going to be quite a lot. Also, I'm expecting things to be very purple, very pink, based on this thumbnail too. But anyway, let's not delay any longer. Let's dive right into this thing. Of course, do let me know your thoughts on the teaser trailer down in the comments below as well. I'd love to hear what you guys have to think. But regardless, without further ado, here we go. Kind of nervous. That's a nice little reference to the final chapter, Stories of the Brave. Oh, okay. Is this going to be a kind of retelling of everything that's happened so far, or is it just going to be... I like that they're including Ganju. They're going for the Soul Society arc vibe, which I've said before, the Thousand Year Blood War arc in the manga was trying to do. Karakura Town. I do love this music as well. Okay, yeah, so this is showing us the journey of the Ryoka so far, basically. Which is kind of funny, considering Ganju vanishes for basically the biggest arc of the entire series. Yep. This is cool, though. Conceptually, this is cool. The footsteps echoing across Waco Mundo. Then straight to the Royal Palace. That's a cool shot of the Vandenreich. We're not going to have a lot to analyse so far. We are at Varvelt, though, so if we're going to see something new, it's going to be pretty soon. Piero Films. Okay, here we go. This is probably going to be... That's creepy. Yes, here we go. Okay. Oh, they're still fighting the statues. They're using Volston. Oh, that's new. New Hashwell. Loads of new Uri versus Hashwell stuff. There's Horn of Salvation. Oh, that's cool. Horn of Salvation about to strike you, Harbach. July. That's a long wait. Is that the longest wait we've had so far between seasons? I think it might be. That's a long wait. That's very promising, exciting. All of that looked pretty awesome. There wasn't a huge amount there, but what was there looked pretty awesome. I never know what to say in the immediate aftermath, because even with such a small amount of new content, there's still a decent amount to take in. So, of course, Let's roll it again. We're gonna have one more watch together. There is something strangely evocative about the way they've chosen to do this. Like that footprint at the start there, that is from the final chapter of the manga. The one's called Ryoka. That's cool. That's cool, seeing the names of the characters and the images flashing past like that. This does feel like... This is cool because it feels like a celebration of the Bleach story up until now, but in a kind of ominous way. Like, these characters are all converging on essentially the final showdown, and we don't yet know how it's going to go for them. And there's something kind of creepy about the footprints as well. This reminds me a little bit of... Well, not really. It reminds me a little bit, I was going to say, of opening 13. Ranbu no Melody, which kind of starts in a similar way to this, just flashing past images of Karakura Town. I like seeing the Quincy City like that. That's cool. The one with the clock tower in particular, that's a really cool shot. I've got the moon kind of being eclipsed. That's a nice visual. Right, and then of course we see the almighty, all of the eyes opening. That's a lot of eyes. Yeah, so Chad and Ganju are still fighting the statues. Okay. That... Oh man, this Uryu versus Hashwald. We knew it was going to be extended, but it just goes by in such a flash. Then I think the rest of it is essentially from the manga. We will do a proper video diving into the trailer, piece by piece, even if it's not particularly long. It's still one of my favorite things to do. Cool. I mean, yeah, that's exciting. That's exciting. It really was a teaser trailer in the truest sense of the word, where they really weren't... They didn't show that much. But what we do get to see, I think, does look very encouraging. You know, the art is great in everything they've shown so far. The animation is really nice. I'm still not sure how I feel, and I never have been sure how I feel about the, you know, the colour of the show. I mean, it's very pink. And I kind of knew that from the moment we saw Yuha throne room, but also Ichigo in Horn of Salvation does destroy the throne room pretty quickly, so after that it'll probably have a cool kind of nighttime shadowy look to it instead, which I think would be awesome. There's a part of me that's a little bit surprised that Chad and Ganju are actually fighting the statues. Man, this Uryu versus Hashwall stuff, gonna have to take a deeper look at that in a minute. That's definitely by far the most exciting part of the trailer for me. Because, I mean, you know, we've all been so hopeful that they would extend that fight, and it looks like they're definitely going to. I mean, Uryu's using Volstendish, so... Yeah. It's exciting. That's really exciting. No new names in the cast at the end, I don't think. No, nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if there would be... So, I mean, they're obviously not revealing everyone in the cast. They're keeping some things back. For example, none of the Fullbringers are here. It doesn't just say Ginjo and Tsukishima, but we know they are going to be in it, which is obviously awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'm very excited. I'm very excited. There's not a huge amount to say in this initial live reaction, but I will do a probably fairly short breakdown of the trailer, kind of shot by shot, because, yeah, no, that's always interesting to do. So that's really cool. I'm excited. I'm optimistic. July is quite a way away. Obviously, the last time a core released in July, it was Core 2 on the day of my wedding, essentially, if some of you remember that. That was fun. Not going to have that happening this time, which would be interesting. So, yeah. Okay. However, before we go, this seems like a pretty good opportunity to also discuss basically everything that was announced at Jump Festa. It was anticipated to be a pretty big show for Bleach, and I think it has been by the looks of things. There's quite a lot of things revealed, which, you know, is very indicative again of the current health of the brand, which is really exciting. Nothing, of course, about the arc which must not be named. But I don't think anyone really expected that. I mean, I'm not expecting anything about that to be announced or confirmed or whatever until after the anime is over. It just doesn't make any sense. A little more surprisingly is the fact that there's still nothing about Burn the Witch. I mean, that series has just been on ice now for ages, it feels like. Kubo's just a very busy man. He's got a lot going on, which is exciting for him, which is awesome, of course. It just means we as fans have we've got a lot to pick and choose from. You know, we've got the end of the anime is coming up, and then after that, it kind of feels like the floodgates could potentially open for Kubo if he wants to do whatever he wants to do, basically. So we've got here on Reddit a summary of news from Jump Festa. This comes from the user Mindy Mayonnaise. That's a really good name. So yeah, I appreciate this post. Thank you for writing everything up so succinctly. So yeah, Core 4 will air in July 2026. Like I said, it's a little way away. Core 4 is titled Kashintan, another original phrase coined by Kubo. The kanji for ka is derived from ryoka. The kanji for shin means to move forward, and the kanji for tan remains the same as previous cores, which means story or tale. Our beloved group of ryoka will be pushing forward in this core. That's some really nice wordplay. That's really clever. So my layman takeaway from that then is the calamity. The kanji for calamity also translates to the ryoka moving forward. That's really awesome. And of course, that plays into how that entire trailer was structured. Moving on to the actual new reveals. Bleach the Stories. Special project to look back at the anime series. Okay, that makes sense. They released a special collage that will fill up with illustrations from Jet drawn in the anime series style over time. The TV anime Bleach began airing in 2004 and is reaching its climax both as a TV series and as part of the Thousand Year Blood War arc. A special project, TV animation Bleach the Stories, has begun looking back at each arc of the series so far. Okay, so this is that shot of Ichigo from, I think it was around the end of the Deicide arc, just off the top of my head. That really awesome color page spread of all of the different forms of Ichigo kind of running. I think it was around Deicide because it teased the Dangai form of Ichigo at the very end, but you didn't quite get to see it. So it looks like they're going to do each of those in the anime style, which is cool. So far, I've just got human Ichigo and then the very first Shinigami Ichigo, which is pretty cool. Okay, number 4, the official YouTube channel will have full episodes uploaded for a limited time. That's pretty cool. So the official YouTube channel, that's only just kind of been created, and they've been rigorously uploading to it over the last couple of weeks or months or so. But that's pretty cool. And the fact that they've only just made an official YouTube channel for Bleach is interesting as well. That does kind of make you wonder that maybe there is more still to come. Otherwise, that does seem a bit odd. But yeah, so they'll be uploading full episodes for a limited time. That's really cool. Looks like the schedule is running up until the 16th of June or something like that. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. That's cool. Club Outside will continue for the 6th year. That's good. That gives us even more to talk about in our Kubo Reveals videos, our Club Outside Q&A Roundup series. Number 6, new Naruto Ryogo novel, Don't Bleach My Fist, to be released. Okay, that's an interesting name. So he's doing another novel. Oh, so I've just clicked on the link, and it shows the High School Warfare artwork. And I think Naruto said that as kind of like an April Fool's thing that he was going to do a novel, or was it Kubo? One of them said it was as like a April Fool's thing that they were going to do a novel based on the High School Warfare artwork, and now it looks like that might actually be happening. That's kind of cool. I would happily take a kind of lower stakes novel from Narita to kind of see how that story pans out. Also, it means that Askin will probably be in it since he is in the High School Warfare artwork for the villains, so that's exciting. I'm kind of interested to see how that pans out, to see what that has to add, because the whole reason it was an April Fool's thing is because it's never going to be like a canon aspect of the story. It's very much almost a joke scenario, I guess. But that's kind of interesting to see. I think it'd be kind of exciting to see the characters in a new setting like this. And of course, that might mean more Kubo sketches as well. Okay, here we go. New mobile game Bleach Mirrors High. More info to be released in the summer of 2026. Okay, so still not a lot to go on with that game. I mentioned that in my last video where we looked at Bleach Soul Resonance. So it's another mobile game. I don't think we knew that initially, which is interesting. I mean, I'll take it. I don't have the aversion to mobile games that a lot of people do, understandably. I'm more thinking that I don't know that we really need another mobile game right now. It doesn't seem like it's going to be coming out for like at least a year. There is actually some artwork that Kubo's done for it, though, that looks really nice. It looks like Mirrors High is actually the name of the game, which is pretty cool. Again, though, another mobile game especially with Soul Resonance being so fresh, does feel a little bit weird. So this is coming straight from Kubo himself. He released a video message about the new game, so that's pretty interesting, that's pretty exciting. Maybe this is going to be a higher profile game than first thought. Let's take a look at what he has to say. So he says, I've been involved in this app game project from the kickoff meeting. First, I came up with the title, attended the scenario meeting, and also worked on the character designs. As for character designs, I got so excited working on them and ended up doing more than what was requested. That's actually pretty good to hear. I hope you'll look forward to it. For the logo design, I think even mobile games have their own trends in logo design. I tried not to lean into those trends and come up with something that both resembles my style and reflects something meaningful. So I made it simple, yet something that leaves an impression the moment you see it. I think he's managed to achieve that. It's very Bleach, it's very reminiscent of his newer art style, the logo I mean, but it stands out completely on its own. Anyway, continuing, Kubo says, and since it's for a game with many unique and colourful characters, I wanted to create something that stood out even if it was placed above them. As I said previously, I worked on many characters, although I can't give you specific numbers at the moment. Also, for the voice actors, I sat in the audition as one of the judges, and also took part in the recording sessions. So the characters turned out just as I imagined. As for the story, it is partly related to the main scenario of the comics. So I mean, that's obviously very interesting, a mobile game that's partly related to the main story of Bleach itself. Now that's very vague and could mean pretty much anything, to be totally honest. It could be a tiny side story related to any character that appears in the manga. I have absolutely no idea, but it's still very interesting. And I kind of wonder, Kubo of course mentions there's a large number of colourful characters in it. He's thinking about the logo design from the perspective of placing it above characters' images. That's probably from a marketing perspective, but it could play into the game somehow as well. It could be another character collection gacha game, but what if it's something like a digital collectible card game instead? Like, that could be really interesting. That's why the logo would factor in with all of these different characters, but I don't know how you would connect. Well, I guess you could connect the main story to it any which way you chose, I guess. The actual gameplay itself is probably the least pivotal part of getting it to work in those kind of parameters. So it could reasonably be anything still. So yeah, you might remember from the kind of days of Brave Souls' absolute kind of dominance. Kubo was heavily involved in the character creation concepts for, you know, the kind of special alternate universe characters, the Hogyoku Espada, the Beyond Bankai captains, all that sort of thing. But yeah, that's very interesting. That makes me wonder if it won't be a kind of stereotypical, like, mobile gacha game. It would be something different, which would be, I think, necessary, because like I said in my last video, Soul Resonance currently kind of has that lockdown, and we don't need any more gachas. Okay, so point number 9, he knows people are looking forward to Hitsugaya's part. He didn't specify anything, literally said that thing from Hitsugaya. So he hopes that will turn out well. Okay, presumably we're talking about Core 4 again now. Besides that, there will be original scenes in this core, which is taking up more of his attention for now. He's a little relieved that Core 4's air date has been announced. Yeah, I bet. Number 10, as for Mirror's High, he said he's more involved behind the scenes than what people will expect, so he hopes people can look forward to that too. The novel title, Don't Bleach My Fist, was coined by Kubo. That's no surprise. That sounds like a Kubo chapter title to me. In the message, he also referred to it as DBMF. He also supervised this novel. He's looking forward to the novel personally. And that seems to be just about everything, I think, from Jump Festa, at least according to Mindy Mayonnaise. But again, greatly appreciated. Thank you so very much. Yeah, there's quite a lot there. In some ways, it feels a little lower key than I was maybe expecting. I didn't really go into Jump Festa with any additional expectations outside of seeing a trailer, so I was satisfied in that regard. I know people were looking for Rebirth of Souls news, so that might be a little disappointing perhaps for some people. It may be. I don't know what's going on with that game personally, but whether or not we're going to get a second DLC season pass or not, I don't know, but also, Bleach did arrive in Fortnite as of midnight last night, and it's pretty cool to see them there, I'll be honest. I picked up the bundle to support the series and hopefully to get more exposure for Bleach just in general. This is exciting, though. You know, there's a laundry list here of new things coming to Bleach, the franchise, and that's really exciting. That's really cool. A nice Christmas gift for everyone. Yeah, Awesome. That seems to be just about everything. I'm just going to take a brief look to make sure no one else has written anything else that I've missed. And then finally, of course, we have a new key visual as well. This one posted by Neonzel. Again, someone we've credited loads of times here on the channel, posted over on Reset Era. That looks very, very nice. I've got to be honest. Very nice. For starters, I love that orange is the color of this core. So core 1 was pink, core 2 was blue, core 3 was black, and now this one is orange. I kind of thought it would be gold for Ichigo's Reiatsu, but orange makes loads of sense. That's a really, really nice color. And this looks awesome. Again, though, this is a gigantic spoiler. I mean, if you have no reference for it, then I guess it's probably not. But this is literally the moment that Ichigo kills Yhwach. Although what's interesting about this is you can see the sheath of his bankai breaking, but the actual blade in the middle appears to be shattering as well. Now, that might just be a creative license done to, done for the effect of this poster, perhaps, but still. You can tell this is the moment Ichigo kills Yhwach, though, because he no longer has any remnants of the Horn of Salvation remaining. Whereas if this were when his bankai is broken in half, he would still be in Horn of Salvation. So, this is an awesome poster. Obviously, this is the main gang of Ryoka, though it kind of feels like Yoruichi's getting left out a little bit here, because she is technically one of the Ryoka as well. Then you've got Orihime, Chad, Ganju, and Uryu, who is, of course, now officially back on side, which is awesome. Chad and Ganju, I kind of hope they're doing a little more than just fighting statues, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that's a really nice and awesome key art for the final season. There's a sense of hope. The sun is shining behind Ichigo. That goes really well with the color of the core overall. Yeah, this looks great, and I'm very excited. This tells me, though, whether we should take this literally or not, I don't know, but this does kind of tell me that the final battle is going to end in the same way. That's kind of interesting in a sense, because, I mean, I kind of expected that anyway. The real question is what's going to be different in the actual lead-up to this final moment. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Alright everyone, well that's it for today's video. As always, I do hope you enjoyed it. Jump Festa, I'd say, was a pretty big success on the whole. There's a lot going on for Bleach at the moment. Maybe there wasn't quite as many explosive announcements as people were hoping, considering the scale of Bleach's presence at the event. But I mean, a new trailer that actually shows us a glimpse of the final core is very exciting. That's all I was really hoping for anyway. More news on Mirror's High. That game is actually sounding more and more interesting every time I hear something about it, so that's pretty cool as well. A new novel. There's loads to go on here, so there's plenty to be excited about. And to be totally honest, there's plenty to be excited about on the horizon as well for when the Thousand Year Blood War arc anime comes to an end. I think that's when we will get the biggest announcements, if they are to come at all. So for now, all we can do is wait. Okay, everyone, again, thank you so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Do let me know your thoughts on the trailer down in the comments below. This is probably the last time we'll ever do a Thousand Year Blood War arc teaser trailer live reaction. Presumably the next trailer will be the true trailer, like a proper, fully fledged look at the core itself, which is very exciting. Probably gonna have to wait 3 months or so for that, would be my guess, considering the proximity of when the actual core itself is launching. So yeah, quite a long wait between Core 3 and Core 4, but that does get me very excited for the scale, for the scope of what hopefully this core will bring. But yeah, do let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I'd love to read them. Consider hitting subscribe if you haven't done already. There's still plenty of awesome Bleach content to come, Bleach news to come. I'd love to have you if you're new, or if you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so to help support the channel. It does mean a lot. Consider giving the video a like, or even hyping it if you think it's worth it. And of course, a massive thank you and a huge shout out goes out to my wonderful supporters over on Patreon, without who I simply wouldn't be able to keep doing this. So again, your support does mean the absolute world, especially, like I said, it has been very quiet on the Bleach front for the last, well, nearly year or so. And again, I do appreciate not just my Patreon supporters, but absolutely every single one of you who has continued to visit the channel. It does really mean more than you could possibly know. So again, thank you all so very much. Alright guys, until next time, I'll catch you later, and I'll see you then.